The bow and arrow has been around for over 60,000 years, and even though it was traditionally used for hunting and combat, it has had a sport component since the 1400s. Today, archery is used in hunting and leisure and has many benefits, such as building muscular strength, improving eye-hand coordination, and increasing mental acuity.
But then what do you do if you don't have access to a shooting range or to lessons, or it's just too cold outside to shoot an arrow? It is always exciting to get new things in the mail, and today is extra special.
I have eagerly awaited this special package from FITTER, delivering the world's first at-home virtual archery system. This well-wrapped box contains all the parts I need to build my own recurve bow, ready to be used with a unique app and gaming software. The bow has some necessary adjustments as compared to your traditional bow, making it safe to use inside your home and allowing it to communicate with the free app. Assembling the smart bow is fairly straightforward. Start by holding the bow riser in your left hand, if you're right-hand dominant, and identify which part of the riser is to the top of the bow. Attach the bow limbs to each end of the riser with the screws facing away from your body. Bring out the bowstring and look at the grip portion in the middle. It has 2 finger tabs, one for 1 finger and one for 2. Make sure the single finger tab is at the top. Thread the bowstring around the end of the limbs. Okay, so here is where I made a mistake. If this looks wrong to you, it's because it is. Don't worry, I'm gonna correct it soon, but I wanted to show it as I think this would be an easy mistake to make. Continue by sliding the arrow shaft onto the handle and attaching it with screws. The screws are on the side of the bow closest to your midline when holding it, and the cord is at the bottom of the shaft. Pull the arrow back and attach it to the notching point on the string, between the single and double finger tab. Look for the positioning slot on the arrow. Loosen the screws on the fixed ring so that you can slide the quiver towards the string and arrow positioning slot, ensuring it gets covered. Tighten up the screws again. Slide the aiming module onto the rail on the fixed ring and connect it using the signal line. Okay, on to correct my mistake. When assembling the bow, I assumed that the tips of the limb would face backward toward me, creating the shape of a bow. This is actually the opposite of what you want to do. Once the limbs are installed properly, slip the string loops over each end and get the help of a second person to dock the loops into the notches. There we go, much better. I can already tell this is going to be so much fun, so let's set up the mobile app. Downloading the app is straightforward. Just follow the instructions for your device type. When you open the app for the first time, you must register an account before selecting your username and verifying your login. On your bow, press and hold the power button on the aim module for 3 seconds until the light starts blinking green, before pressing the connect button on the app. Make sure to give the app precise location and nearby devices permission so that it can find the bow.
All right, now that we've connected the bow, let's go through the tutorial and see if I can actually play this thing. Let's start over here on a dining table with just the cell phone setup.
Calibrating the bow is a quick process. Follow the instructions on the screen and start by placing the bow with all the components flat on a table or on the floor before pressing the gear unit button. Once the step is done, press continue and complete the mag init calibration. The app asks you to turn the bow unit in different directions, but an easier hack for this step is to remove the aim unit from the rest of the bow and spin it in your hands. While completing this step, make sure you block any reflections from large screens or windows, or you will get an error message. As I had never shot a bow or arrow before, I started by looking at the instructions. At this time, the instructions videos in the app redirect you to a website that show what seems to be a part of a lecture series on archery. As much as I appreciate the inclusion of an archery-specific warm-up and the detailed breakdown of the different components of shooting an arrow, the videos were in Chinese and seemed to include a lot of talking. So I decided to just skip them and jump straight to target practice.
And I mean, it's just shooting a bow, right? How hard could it be?
Starting to shoot, the first thing I noticed was that my calibration was off. As this was my first time really ever shooting a bow and arrow, the results weren't that fantastic.
After shooting my new FITTER bow a few times, I have realized that I know nothing about how to properly shoot a bow and arrow. So I'm going to head out and learn how to shoot from a real professional archer.
I reached out to a local archery club to see if someone there were able to help me out. I had the pleasure of meeting Erin, a local bowman and archery instructor who used her bow for fun, exercise, and hunting. Over a 30-minute quick introduction lesson, I learned how to relax my gripping arm while lifting my pull elbow, set my feet up at hip width apart, with the back leg slightly to the front and my toes pointed outwards, pull my hand back to my face and gently release the grip as my hand continued to brush my cheek. As an experienced VR archer, I'm used to aiming by moving my front hand. Aaron explained that the direction of the arrow depends on how you set up your feet, hip, and torso, and the left hand mostly controls how high or low you shoot, with the right hand not contributing at all as it always stays next to your cheek. I had so much fun at the archery range, and aimed with this new knowledge, I headed back home. Alright, now that I am back, I am super curious to check out how much of a difference my stance is going to make, and to explore the different game modes that WonderFitter offers. Using a screen sharing app on my phone, I was able to cast my game to my computer. WonderFitter comes with a Bluetooth casting system that you can plug into your TV. All you need is an HDMI and USB plug and to connect the system to your Wi-Fi. So let's go through the features of the app really quick. Go to your settings tab and enter the size of the monitor you're using. The app will give you an device screen distance. It's just to get an idea of how close or how far away from the screen you should be standing. Since we are just starting out and checking out the different settings, I am also going to turn on training mode. Next, let's start a local single-player game. Looking at our different options, on the left corner is a close-up of your target, and you can toggle it on or off using the eye icon. As the app gives you a close-up of the range after each time you shoot, I personally prefer to have it turned off. The tips section explains the game mode you are in. For timed target shooting, your goal is to shoot as many arrows as possible within 1 minute. The timer starts right after you enter the arena and pause during the close-up of your shooting. Having training mode turned on removes the timer, and I can shoot as much as I want uninterrupted. The scope button toggles on a 2x scope, making it easier to see your target. This is especially useful when shooting at longer ranges. On these longer ranges, turning on the accelerator is necessary to allow for more power in your shots and to reach the target. The aim reset button centers your scope onto the target. Once pressed, aim at the center of the target and hold still for 3 seconds. This reset should be done every time you change where you are standing and if a different person is using the bow. It can be frustrating to press the aim reset button on your app and then hurry to stand back and lift the bow to set the aim before those 3 seconds is out. But fortunately, there's a way around that. On your bow's aim module, there is a button with an eye icon, another aim reset button. Pressing it on your bow is the same as pressing it on the app, but just much easier to use. Now let's try an actual game mode and see if I can get onto those leaderboards. Starting with target shooting at 20 meters, I'm starting out without using a scope or accelerator. Grabbing onto the finger tabs, I remember Aaron telling me that I should place all my 3 pull fingers underneath the notching point for more pull power. Okay, that was a lot of fun, and obviously it was a lot harder to shoot the targets that were further away. Did find that setting up my stance properly has made a huge difference. I'm feeling a lot more consistent, and also noticing that, the faster I shoot, the better and more stable it seems to be. Shooting at the stationary targets is definitely fun and challenging. But there are more game modes to check out. In hunting mode, you can choose between shooting a hare, pheasants, or wild wolves. Each level gives you a time and arrow limit to clear the animals, and the complexity of your targets increase at each level by changing things like the number of targets, their distance, camouflage, and how much they move. And watch out for those wolves. If they get too close, they will attack. The hunting mode was definitely a lot of fun. There's a lot more going on, and it really, really points out how quick you have to be. Holding the bow lifted up so that you have your aim pointed at the middle of the screen, and tracking the animal you're trying to shoot was definitely a lot easier than having the bow pulled and trying to track that way. WonderFitter also has an online multiplayer available. However, since the system is still in a pre-release stages, I didn't expect to be matched with another player. The app is also equipped with leaderboards. From the start screen, select the friends icon to change it to rank. Expand the tab to see your leaderboards. Leaderboards are available for both fixed targets and hunting game modes, but only for online multiplayer, and I was unable to get a rank above the standard starting score. If you are wanting a score for your own target shooting, your previous high score is displayed next to your current score during the game mode. All right, now that I have mastered the basics of WonderFitter, it's time to make this a workout.
I have channeled my inner Olympian and I am ready to give this my everything. I am going to do a 30-minute workout using my WonderFitter home archery system.
Starting with a 2-3 minute warm-up, using the movements from the instructions video, moving on to short-range target shooting, and progressing up to long range before switching to hunting mode. Let's do this!
Okay, that was a lot of fun. My heart rate stayed around 100 beats per minute the whole time with a max of about 110. So even if you're trying to fire up really quickly and you're using some of the bigger muscles in your upper back, it's still not like the biggest cardio, but it gets you into a really, really great fat burning state, which is really important just to keep your metabolism going. And it's about, you know, the same benefits as you get from going for a walk. And I always tell people to go for more walks. It's literally the greatest thing you can do for your body. And as you guys have seen, it is freezing cold outside right now. So this is gonna be my new walk. And even though my heart rate isn't through the roof, I can definitely tell that this is working a lot of my muscles. I can feel it in my upper shoulders, in my triceps, middle of the back, as well as in my core. And with the added benefit of working on your eye-hand coordination, this is a great benefit that I could definitely recommend adding into your activity routine.
After having my WonderFitter bow for about a week, I have to say I am very impressed with the system. Initially, I was curious as to how the system could allow for enough content to keep me entertained, but experiencing the level of skill that is required for consistent high-level shooting, the system has a high skill ceiling, and just as someone going to an archery range and shooting at stationary targets a few times a week, I can see myself using the system regularly for a long time as well. I can't wait for the WonderFitter home archery system to be launched in early 2023 and for the online multiplayer feature to become available. In the meantime, the local 1v1 mode is super fun, and because the system comes with everything you need to set it up on any TV or monitor quickly, it is easy to take out when friends come over and play together, both competitively and for fun.
The WonderFitter virtual home archery system, it's currently up on Kickstarter. So check out the link in my description to head over to the website and you can pre-order yours for a great discount. And if you like this video, make sure to give it that thumbs up. And of course, check out this video next.